Africa is third world. Africa is third world. Yet our wealth built you.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive in today's video. So lovelies, I came at this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this woman is actually exposing how, Africans they pay reparation for being colonized. Guys, this actually got me thinking, and I just decided to put it up for you here for us, dialogue as usual. Guys, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section and let's dive into it.
Africa is third world. Africa is third world. Yet our wealth built you.
You guys know that 14 African countries still pay a colonial tax to France? 14 African countries still pay a tax for being colonized by the French. And you know how much that tax is? $500 billion a year taken from 14 African countries by the freaking French. And the reason that they take this money is because they built infrastructure and buildings and the resources that they brought to Africa. It's payback for the colonization that they did. We brought resources to you, we brought infrastructure to you, we brought civilization to you, so now you have to pay us back for it. If any of these African nations refuse to do it, they mysteriously get a coup in their government and militant groups pop up everywhere. They had to sign a pact for this. And do you want to know what's included in that pact? Number one, the reason that the pact exists is to impose the colonial tax so that the African countries can pay back for the infrastructure that was brought to them from the French colonization. And then this is the part that pisses me off to no end. The reason that they get that $500 billion a year from these African countries is because they force these African countries to deposit their bank reserves into the French ministry, and the French government invests those funds into the French market, and only they know the return of whatever amount comes back as returns. And it's estimated that it's $500 billion, and they don't give any of that money back to these African countries. And because the money is in banks that are controlled by the French, these African countries that deposited their monies into these French banks have to ask the French government for permission to take their money out. And once they take their money out, it is considered a loan that they have to pay interest on. And on top of that, they can only buy their military equipment from France. They have to allow French presence in their country, and the French military can invade these countries at any point if they feel that the French interest in these countries is threatened at all. And this part, all minerals available and yet to be discovered, France has the first right of refusal in these 14 countries. And all contracts, public or private, French companies have the first right of refusal. The French government is considered one of the wealthiest in the world, because they built their wealth on the backs of African countries and forced this colonial tax where they're getting $500 billion a year for nothing other than colonizing these countries. Every day I understand what James Baldwin meant when he said that to be a person of color in this country is to be in a constant state of rage, but I'm taking it a step further and saying to be African in this world is to be in a constant state of rage, because for centuries our people were taken, our people were stolen, our people were pillaged, our people were demolished, and our people were used as slaves, and our people were just brutalized all over the world. And even in 2023, we are still paying the price of Western colonization. If African countries were able to harness the natural resources that's available to them, it would be the wealthiest nations in the world. Literally, in the DRC currently, 70% of the world's cobalt comes from the DRC. But again, they're the poorest countries because they're not able to harness their own resources. Currently, 15 out of the 19 cobalt mines in the DRC are owned by Chinese companies, and they rent it out to French, American, and is not real companies in the DRC. And the people that work these mines get paid, that they have to use their bare hands, which is ridiculous because cobalt is very radioactive, and they're supposed to have safe mining equipment, but they don't. And the people make pennies a day working in these cobalt mines. And in Sudan, the reason why the RSF has the backing it does is because they get their backing from the UAE, who steals the gold from Sudan and steals the gold from most African countries instead of paying a fair price for it. These countries pillage and steal from African nations, and African nations are considered the poorest, but they're the richest in natural resources. Most of the world's gold and diamonds come from Africa. Most of the world's petroleum comes from Africa, but the African countries are not the ones that are able to harness that natural resources and make money off of it, because again, these Western countries prop up militant groups in order to take down the governments, and then they put presidents in place that are favoring the Western countries and don't favor their own people. So it's beyond discussing what happens in African countries. So I'm hoping that we have come to a new age and day where African countries are able to get rid of Western influences and able to prop up their own economies, that they become the most wealthiest nations in the world.
I did not know, but thank you for letting me know, because this is actually kind of fucking crazy. But it's not the first time I heard some shit and I'm like, damn, that makes no fucking sense, because last time I checked, y'all motherfuckers came out of nowhere and was taking people and shit and enslaving them and getting free labor. But you wanna, they should be asking y'all for taxes. Now, this is the problem. Like, there's a reason why, you know, Africa's the way it is, and not everywhere in Africa. There are developed countries in Africa, but there's a reason why the exploitation is so fucking high. Because these countries, they know to keep the countries in Africa down. They know that shit. Because the moment Africa rises up, and the moment Africa starts to move and get the hustle and the bustle and start doing their own thing, is the moment the economy is going to shift to Africa. That's going to be the issue. Watch, if Congo nationalizes their mines on their own accords, and make the money on their terms, guess what? Congo becomes one of the richest countries in the world. So is countries like Sudan and geez, I don't know, but like y'all get what I'm saying. Like, the countries with the gold reserves, the diamonds, all these things, they're gonna have the most value, right? So it's easier to say, oh well, we helped y'all we helped build y'all up, so y'all gotta pay us. Listen, France, United States, Spain, all these colonizer ass countries, listen. Y'all, let's make a pact. Let's take these motherfuckers to court too. Like, let's put y'all on the list next to get murked. Because what I'm seeing is a pattern, and we've all known it. But like, to see the things materialize, and to hear about it, and to understand what they are, and to understand the implementations that, you know, happen if you don't abide by what they're asking for you to do, is crazy. Because it's not far-fetched for countries to be like, oh no, we're not doing that shit, fuck out of here, what? And then all of a sudden, now you have all these rebel groups, now you have all these uprisings in your countries, you don't know where the fuck these shit's coming from. Yeah, okay. Like I said, these people are evil. It's crazy. I can't believe, when I heard it, I was just like, that's a thing? Like, how the fuck is that a thing? Like, y'all built infrastructure, but y'all stole so many fucking people. Like be so for real. But that's the world we live in, where you know, people react more when they finally get fed up than in the initial moment, right? So I think for us, like one person, like let's do the measurement by like one person, right? You as a person, a lot of times people's threshold isn't when something happens the first time or the second time. It's usually a buildup of multiple occasions where, I don't know, let's say somebody like takes money from you or something, or they borrow money. And they're like, hey, like, let me $20. You're like, oh, sure, like, I'll pay you back next week. That same time next week, they're like, oh, I don't got it right now, da 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 da, and they pay you back a week later, right? but you still got your money back. So you're like, okay, cool, fine. The next time they're like, hey, let me $40, and then they pay you like a month back later, and you're like, oh my god, all right, fine. And the next time they're like, all right, let me $100, and then they pay you 6 months later, and then they pay you, you know what I'm saying? Then next time they ask you for like $500. And then you're like, no, because you keep getting worse and worse and worse. So imagine that for a conglomerate of people. Like, it's like process like this takes long because it's a whole entire country. Everybody starts to get on the same page. Everybody gets the information at a different time. This is why TikTok is so important. You know, not only do we have to free Palestine, we have to free Congo, we have to free Sudan, we have to free these countries. We have to stand by South Africa. Like, we got to be the change that we want to see in the future. It's just plain and simple. Like, we've seen it, we know this information. We have to take action. We have to do what we can do in the West, in the South, in the East, like everywhere, to get together to stop this madness and uplift the countries that are really going through this, because this is madness and this is tyranny. This is crazy.
So many ways in which European countries still economically benefit today from their former colony. One is France continues to hold 50% of the foreign reserves of 12 African countries in its central bank. So just in banking and currencies, it's huge. That's $500 billion every year from multiple countries. A little more. This article is fantastic. Benefits are of commercial interest, access to resources, access to markets, a map of where the French military still exists in Africa, which is still 63% of all French forces are still in Africa, protecting their investment. France has a monopoly on the rights to exploit natural resources. They economically benefit from people who still speak French, which is why they wanted to expand the number of French speakers in the world to 777 million by 2050. That increases trade. Mozambique loses 21 British pounds in income for every 1 British pound they receive in foreign aid. Africa, being the most resource-rich continent in the world, being one of the most exploited by its former colonial powers, there's a lot of theft. Countries like Ghana that grow cacao, and yet it's countries like Belgium that get rich from making chocolate. Here's a breakdown of countries that lose 10 times the amount of foreign aid they receive in illegal trade. More. Hope this helps. There are so many ways in which European countries still economically benefit today.
The French continue to micromanage all the countries that were their colonies, except the recent liberated zones of Mali and Burkina Faso. Comrades, the French are brutal, to a point that post-colonialism, they still make certain African countries to pay colonial tax to France. The French are brutal because some of their former colonies, their reserve banks are still in France. They are not in control of their own economy, yet they claim to have an independence. We, as progressive Pan-Africanists, must fully associate with and support all revolutionary actions of fighters who are removing puppets of French imperialism from political office and power.
If you are not a Francophone African, then you probably just can't understand why the hatred for France is so strong amongst Francophone Africans. But if you watch that video, you will get a semblance of understanding. You will understand the rage, the absolute rage that seeps through everything when anything French comes across your radar. Just knowing that France is considered one of the most powerful countries in the world on the backs of Africa to this day. 500 billion is nothing to sneeze at. That is a huge amount of money for most countries. And it's all coming from Africa, because France doesn't do anything. They don't produce shit. They just get from other places. The
Like, it boils my blood. It makes my body like shake. When I think about France and how truly evil the French are to this day, it's not a like, you can't be mad at my ancestors. You motherfuckers are benefiting today. You are stealing and pillaging Africa today. In 2024, still, you are doing it today. And no remorse. The French people have zero remorse. When I tell you, I hate those motherfuckers. I hate the French. I hate the French. The hatred is deep in me. I nourish it like a baby. And I want it to grow. I want it to grow up and go to college. Like, I will nurture that hate for the rest of my life. I hate that country. And I need you all to understand how evil France is. And I want France to get the Israel treatment, because that's what we're calling it now. I want France to get the Israel treatment. It's been a long time coming. They absolutely deserve it, along with the United States and Belgium. Those motherfuckers. Do not forget Belgians. King Leopold, I hope you're burning in hell. Yeah, I want France to get the Israel treatment. I want them to be annihilated. If I could do it myself, I would. Unfortunately, I'm not the supreme dictator of the world. I don't know why. I would be great at it. But since I'm not, I can't annihilate France. So we're just gonna have to do that collectively. So let's start thinking about France's destruction and how we can bring it down. I need every Francophone person in the world in on this, and I need just people who hate seeing oppression and have some sympathy for Africans who are getting everything stolen from them today. If you care about that at all, let's talk about how we can, because I've had enough. I've had enough of France. France has gone on way too long without anyone calling it out internationally, collectively. France needs the Israel treatment. I hate that country. I want to see it destroyed. I want us to do it together. All right?
Like, seriously, lovelies, when I saw this, video on my For You, I actually reflected back to the video I posted yesterday where a white man was actually asking this question, like, if white people doesn't exist, like the black people would not be able to maybe cope or achieve so many things in life, and this brought me back to this video again. I was like, so if these people are profiting and taking off from people of my own time, especially from all of these things that is happening, so why, or what will actually prompt this man to ask such question like that we are not gonna be in a good existence without the help of white people? So the video I posted, the lady was talking about how African people have been paying reparations to France. Like, they have been paying them for the development they felt they brought to Africa, and these people have put aside so many soldiers and all of that to actually monitor their investment in Africa. And this actually keep me wondering one thing: if these people are so poor, just the way the media portray it to be, if these people are just nothing, they always ask for aid from the Western, the developed world. So why are they now paying such amount of money to this France? Like, how is this so, like, how cruel can these people be? You are the people that actually went ahead to colonize these people, stole a lot of things from them, took so many things from them. You even took along with you their ancestors, made them not to even, like, oh my goodness, the atrocities and all of that. Then after which you felt that you brought a little bit of civilization to these people, so because of that you want to just keep on eating up from them. But later on you keep on talking and portraying it as if you guys are actually, they are the reason why these people still exist. They are the reason why they still have whatever they have. Just look at what is happening in Congo right now. Like, why is it that these people cannot leave African people alone? Why is that they cannot leave black people alone? Is it that they've not done enough? You keep on disliking these people. You don't want to have anything to do with these people, but you keep on stealing, taking and taking from them. You keep on. I was so shocked when I saw that. I don't even know that something like this exists. I don't know that these people are paying such amount of money by putting their puppet in the government appointees. Like, seriously, they decided to put up like the presidents that they can be able to manipulate and turn to their puppets so as to abide to whatever they are, projecting them to do. What kind of inhumanity is this? Why is it that, like, what have these people done to you guys? Like, they just call a spade a spade. This is just ridiculous. When I saw this video, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Was this really so? They are paying them for bringing civilization. What civilization are they talking about? What civilization are they talking about? So they are you guys are paying France for colonizing you people, for taking away your properties, your mineral resources. You're still paying them, and these people still have rights on your resources. Like, what is really happening? Seriously, these are the kind of issues that need to be looked into. Like, enough of all this. Like, all these African presidents, they need to really look at them. Like, how is this even possible that such amounts of money are being paid to France? So that means France cannot even produce or develop anything. They keep on taking and thieving from these countries. Like, this is so I'm so shocked by this. This is so surprising. Like, what the heck is really going on? We are still talking about how these people colonizers, how they came to, African country, took away so many things and, took away our uncles, our aunties, our brothers and sisters with them, enslaved them, made them to, use them for labor, cheap labor without paying them. And up to date, they've not even paid reparation. We don't even know that these people that are still taking from Africa. They're still taking and taking. Like, this is so bizarre. Like, seriously, lovelies, this is so unbelievable. I don't even know that something like this is in existence. Like, this actually opened my eyes to what is actually going on. We are still talking about how, like, the colonization is still going on. That is still on even in 2024, and people are just seeing it as, okay, it's a way of life. Like, why is it that these people cannot leave people of my own type alone in peace? This is why the other day when I saw a video of somebody actually talking about how he wants to go back to Africa and recolonize them, I was even thinking it's a joke. They actually know exactly what they are doing. I was thinking it's a joke. I was thinking like, okay, so he was just interviewed. I was like, okay, the African presidents are not doing justice, and they don't know what they're doing. I think it's high time we go back and recognize these people and all of that. Like, seriously, but these are the people that you think that they cannot even succeed without you guys. Why is it that you cannot actually leave them alone in peace? You guys have already done enough. You've taken so much from them, even from the little one that is left. They are trying to cope and do something in their own safe places, and you guys are still bent on going back there to take. And some people will still come out and put up their phone and be telling me or asking me or telling me, okay, without our existence, what will you bring to the table? Some people are still with their God heart, with their church mind. They're still asking questions. Oh my God, this thing is something that happens 5,000 years ago, but this thing is still happening. Why can't you talk about it? And when they see that people like us, or maybe creators like us, are out there calling out on their evil deeds, they keep on talking down and keep on trying to make us feel as if we don't know what we're talking about. They keep on making us feel as if this thing that we're talking about is something that does not even exist. Like, look at what is happening between France and these African countries, that they keep making them to pay for colonizing them. Like, how is it even possible? You came to my hometown, you took away everything, you took away my brothers and sisters, you subjected them to so many things, and you still want me to pay you for what? For what exactly? You still want me to pay you for what? You still want me to pay you for the atrocities you brought upon my people, for the injustice you brought upon my people. You still want me to pay you for that? Like, what is even wrong with all these African presidents? Like, what is all this? What? Like, in 2024, this thing is still happening, and people will just like, oh my God, you are just being, why are you talking about something like this? Somebody was sending me, somebody was just sending me, was it commenting that I should do something, that I'm just like, what is this? This is the type of thing we're talking about. This is what we're saying. This is what we're talking about. You keep on making us feel as if we don't know what we're talking about. As if maybe we try to put up stories, or we try to like talk about something that does not exist. People are moving on already. This is 2024. People are moving on. There's nothing like rain and seas. It does not exist whatsoever. You are just, enough of all of this already. No matter anything, white people does, black people will always see them as people that is so bad. This is all the things I get. I read all the comments, but just that this is one of it. When you see something like this happening, it is left for you, as maybe you are being anti-rape and cis. You should be able to call your brothers and sisters out. Yes, and stop pretending as if something like this does really not exist. It does. These people should leave African people alone. They should leave black people alone. They've already done enough. These people are trying to create their own wealth in their own safe places, but they just keep on going back and going back. Like, what would they even pay for this? And if they don't, they have to do this, that to still put this, to subject their presidents. Sometimes sometimes when I'm not really aware of all of these things that is happening, I used to ask myself that, okay, like they say that black people are this, they are lazy, they are whatever, okay, African people and all of that. It has to do with African president. But now I am saying that they are still the people behind all of this. They still want to subject African people to be where they are, so that they will continue to eat off from them. If they don't, something will be done. And they go as far as make sure that they put their own, maybe African leaders, they select their own African leaders, and make sure that their own person is also in charge of so many things in Africa, making it very difficult for people that has a good intention to build this. Oh my goodness, this is really crazy, lovelies. Like, seriously, this is so bad. This is so bad. I don't really know what we've done to deserve all of this. The people that you guys have taken with you have made them to do some kind of cheap labor without, paying them for it. I even saw a video whereby they talked about, when they talk about, reparation and all of that, they tried to sweep it under the carpet and decided to bring immigrants, cheap immigrant laborers to do this job that they were supposed to pay, reparations for. Like, seriously, enough already. Enough. And there's one good thing about this. A lot of things, people are beginning to open their eyes. People are beginning to dig. People are beginning to find out about the lies that we've been told. We've been told so many lies, but everything was just a lie. People are just beginning to see the light, and I think they are scared of it. Seriously, people. That's why some people, maybe some of the when they come first and make you to stop doing what you're doing, because they don't want the truth to be exposed. Seriously, like, anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video? And do not forget that this channel, we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. As I used to say in my videos, that we are just here for educational purposes, information. We are just here to open our eyes to the reality, the truth, that the lies were too much. We need to, like this generation, need to open their eyes and see what our ancestors actually want us to see. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not, forget that this channel will do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We are just here for educational purposes. So please do share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.